Hi, it's Mo. It is December 8th, which means it's time to start the next Bookmas vlog. Welcome to Bookmas Week 2. This week, I have a plan, okay? I am going to finish as many books as I possibly can in the week. It's the 8th, and I have only finished 2 books so far this month, which is totally fine. Don't get me wrong, 2 books is good. If I finish no more books in the month, I'm feeling good. But I have so many books on the go, and usually around this time, I finish like 4 or 5 books. So I would like to up the amount of books that I am finishing. I would like to get through some of the books that I've already started. I would like to move on to other books. I am doing a good job of this so far today because I finished Tar Baby this morning. This is the 4th Toni Morrison in publication order. I'm reading through all of Toni Morrison in publication order. I talk about it a lot. I've talked about all the books that I've read from Toni Morrison, what order I read them in, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know if I've ever really discussed why I'm doing it in publication order. And the reason is that I find some of her books to be very intimidating. I think the next book that I have to read is Beloved, which is the one I find most intimidating. I also found The Bluest Eye to be very intimidating, which is her first published work. So I decided if I read them in publication order, then I just wouldn't have a choice. I would just have to read them when I read them, and that's that. I'm thinking about maybe doing the same thing for Octavia Butler because I am intimidated by her books as well, but I do really want to read them, and I have Parable of the Sower, and I have the other one about time, and I have read some of her books, and I would like to read the sequels to them, but I'm always like, should I read the sequel or should I read Parable of the Sower? So I think if I read them in publication order, I would get that choice and that intimidation and that anxiety taken away from me, which is definitely what's happening here. There are books by Toni Morrison that I'm like excited to get to and I would like to get to sooner than later, but having to read them in publication order means that I just have to read them when I read them. So whenever I'm in the mood or feeling like I want to read a Toni Morrison, then I pick it out and I read it, whatever the next one is. So I'm super happy to have finished Tar Baby. Let's see. Bluest Eye, Sula, Song of Solomon, Tar Baby, Beloved. Okay, so I have Beloved, Jazz, Paradise. I have everything but her last published book, which is God Help the Child. So yeah, so my next one is Beloved, which is intimidating, but usually when I'm done reading a Toni Morrison, I need like a break. I talked about this in the last vlog, but her writing is so rich. It's so delicious. It's so intense. It's so thought-provoking. It's so complicated. It's so nuanced. Like, you need a minute. Like, it takes me a while to read this book. I started reading this book on November 24th, and I just finished it today, which is, you know, a long time for me for reading a book. I'm very happy to have finished it. You can see more of my thoughts and what this book is about in my December wrap-up, which will be coming out in January. And then I'm still reading Time to Be in Earnest, which is the fragment of an autobiography by P.D. James. I'm about halfway through this one. I am on page 124. So this one I'm really liking. It's a diary, so it's all diary entries, and then there are also pictures and things. Let me find that picture. Oh, it is. Look, the picture of her with the cat. Isn't that great? I love it so much. She loves cats. So this one I've been reading kind of slowly, but I think I can pick it up and read it a little bit more quickly now that I've finished Tar Baby, because in the morning I usually take like 45 minutes or an hour to read every morning, and I was reading mostly Tar Baby and then a couple of entries of this. So now I think I'm going to try and read mostly this and maybe a little bit of something else. Did I bring my phone? Oh, I did. I'm also currently listening to Never Whistle at Night, and this is the real reason that I decided that I needed to do this challenge this week. I only have 5 days left to complete this audiobook, and I have over half the stories to read. I've been reading it very, very slowly. So I'm going to try and read like multiple stories a day so that I can get through this in the 5 days, because there are people waiting for it. So I am not going to be able to extend my hold on this or my borrow on this. So I need to finish that, and I need to finish it because I'm reading that for another vlog as well. I'm reading that to complete Books and Lala's Buzzword Reading Challenge. So there's that. Also on audio, because I can only read one short story at a time and then I need a buffer, I am reading Oh My Mother by Connie Wang. This is a memoir that I originally started in the beginning of November and then decided not to read it physically. The audio came available at the end of November, so I've been reading this. I think in December, basically, end of November, December. I'm about 40% or half, maybe closer to halfway through now. The audiobook for this is only like 5 hours long. I can't up the speed too much, so it is taking me like pretty much the full 5 hours, you know, of reading this. It's not that sped up. I'm enjoying it so far. It's not doing anything like incredible, amazing, making me like really die to read it every day and like want to read it every day, but I can finish it. And I think between the work that I have to do at home today and my office job tomorrow, I could definitely get through this and finish this one. So those are all the books that I'm currently reading, including Never Whistle at Night. And then for my next pickups, I did actually start and got to page 28 of Quicksand by Junichiro Tanizaki, and this is a Japanese modern classic, and I didn't realize, but this does have queer themes in it. I think I knew that when I put it on my want to read list, but then I forgot about it, and this was reading really quickly and really good, and I really enjoyed it. I don't know if I'm going to have to start it again or maybe just check on those first kind of 30 pages to remember where I was at, but I would like to pick up this as one of my next physical books once I've gotten through some stuff. My next audiobook, I was thinking of picking up Rental House by Waiki Wang. This is a novel. This is a signed copy I got at the Manasquan book sale earlier this year. You will see that video coming soon. I wanted to pick this up in November, but it actually reminded me a lot of The Anthropologist when I read the blurb. Now I don't really remember what the blurb was, but I think it's about a married couple, and I think it's about them finding a home, which is basically what The Anthropologist is loosely about. So I didn't want to pick it up at the same time, but I think this might be my next audiobook. It's also very short. I'm interested to read Waiki Wang. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce their name, so definitely let me know if you know in the comments below. Interested in this short audiobook. And then physically, I really want to get back to some more poetry. I picked this book up at the Asbury Park Book Co-op. It is Post-Colonial Love Poem by Natalie Diaz, and I believe this is a Hispanic author, and the poems look pretty cool. Kind of long, some prose poems, some shorter poems, so I don't know if this is the poetry book that I'm going to pick up, but maybe it is. I also have been wanting to read The Marriage of Heaven and Hell by William Blake all year, and I figured this was a good way to get through a fairly quick book. This little book has his drawings and his writing, and I thought that I was going to have to read this teeny tiny writing, but it's actually all written out in the back, I discovered. So I'm gonna try to get through this one, I think, as a physical book at some point. I also got at a book sale, similarly, this little book, which I thought was so cute. Now I'm not remembering. I looked it up. Middle Eastern, I think. Possibly East Asian. It's a fable or a fairy tale, and then it's illustrated, and it looks really interesting. Or maybe it's an epic poem. I was kind of in the mood to maybe read a couple of these little short books this week, so those are things. You know, depending on how much I read, we'll talk about like other books that I might need to pick up. Other than that, this week I have to work a lot. My husband has to work a lot. So we're probably not going to get out for a walk or do anything, but next week he has off. So I think we'll be able to do a lot more next week, the week before Christmas. We're working on making our Christmas presents that we need to make. So I talked all about my feelings on Christmas presents in my first vlog, I think. So those are going to always be listed down below. But a lot of the things that we're going to end up giving, we're going to make things for, so hopefully you'll see some of that as well. Right now, I really got to get to work, and I want to eat my toast. I want to eat my delicious toast from Hey Peach Bakery. Let me know how your second week of Vlogmas, of Bookmas, of December is going. I'll probably check back in when I finish another book.
There you see now how all your so-called power counts for absolutely nothing. How your entire empire of destruction comes crashing down, all because of one little cherry. One little. What a lovely ballet. It seems so full of form. One little.
Thursday afternoon. I didn't check in with you because I hadn't finished anything. And the whole point of this week was to see how much I could finish, and it is not going well. So next week, I was going to kind of work more on Cloak and Dagger Christmas and reading mysteries specifically and talking about mysteries, but I think I might continue this week and see how many books I can read next week too, because I'm not getting far. So the book that I did finish was Oh My Mother. This is a memoir about Connie Wang and her relationship to her mother. I don't know. I don't think it worked perfectly. Like, I don't think it wrapped things up the way I wanted it to. I feel like it started strong with a thesis and then it didn't really complete that. Like, it didn't really do what it said it was going to do. But as a story about a mom and daughter relationship, as a story about young motherhood, as a story about the immigrant experience, I thought it was really interesting and good. I also did like that the end of this book took place during the pandemic. I never felt really bad about reading pandemic books. Sometimes they, get me. Like, sometimes I'm like, oh, pandemic, I remember. I think it's interesting to see people processing it, so I look forward to reading more books about the pandemic, both fiction and nonfiction, and see how are people process it, what they think now, like what's going on, especially now. When this book was written, it talks about the 2016 election, and it talks about feelings of that, especially from an immigrant perspective, from a person of color perspective. And then it talks about the pandemic, and it talks about obviously those things from those perspectives as well, but it doesn't touch on what's currently going on, and it doesn't touch on, which is kind of a surprise for this book, the really negative feelings about Asian Americans during the time of the pandemic and like what has happened since then. So I would love to read more works that are like more about that. So with this book, I have read 6 books towards my Read What You Own challenge. So if you don't know what the Read What You Own challenge is, it is a challenge that is put on yearly by Criminale. It was started by Criminale as a 100 books challenge, but it quickly became a community event, so you can pick your level of how much you want to read. And the whole point of the challenge is to read your own shelves, read books that you already own before buying new. So you pick a number of books or a number of pages or a number of hours or whatever it is, and you read books that you already own, whether that's your physical books, your ebooks, your audiobooks, before you buy new books. I didn't start when the challenge originally started. I think it started the 5th of November. They made it easy because it was Guy Fawkes Day. I started it later because I knew there were certain book sales that I wanted to go to, and obviously the point is to restrict your spending and your purchasing and your accumulating, but I knew that I wanted to go there, so I did, and I'm glad that I did because they were fun. And then I did have one caveat little book sale that I wanted to go to too. I always go to the Wall book sale because that's my most local book sale, one of my most local book sales, and one of the most fun, and I find often vintage mass market paperbacks there, and I really like supporting that library because the people there are also nice. So I did go to that book sale like in the middle, and those books don't count against my challenge, but also if I read any books that I picked up there, I can't count them towards my challenge. I decided to read 50 books before buying new, and I started my challenge on November 22nd, and I have only read 6 books in that time. I'm reading very, very, very slowly for how I normally read in the month of December so far. I've only completed 3 books. What day is it today? It's already the 11th. I usually read a book about every other day, so by the 11th, I should have read at least 5 books, maybe even 6 books. But like I said, I'm reading very slowly, which is not a bad thing, and it's not slow by like normal standards, and don't compare yourself to my reading. And I'm not like upset about it. Like, I'm not like, oh my god, I have to stop everything I'm doing to read. I just have been working a lot on editing videos for Bookmas. I've been working, I've been hanging out with my husband because he's had days off, I've been doing other things. So I have not been reading as much, but I would like to catch up, which is why I said that this week should really be finishing as much as I can, reading as much as I can, and I just have not done that. And I did start a new long audiobook, which is Murder Past Due by Miranda James. This is a Cat in the Stacks mystery novel, and this is the first in a new series, although it was written quite a while ago. It was published in 2010. So it's a new series, it's the start of a new series, but it's not a new series because it was published in 2010. This is to finish out a video, so you will hear more of my thoughts in that video. The other thing about not completing books and not reading is I've kind of like not been wanting to do anything. Today, it's already late in the day. It's already like 4 o'clock and I really haven't done anything. I was supposed to buckle down and get work done today and I haven't done it. I had to put out my last video for Bookmas, which was actually my last weekly vlog, late because I was working on editing it last night and I ran into some snags and then I just got too tired and I was like, I'm not going to do it. I'll just put it out tomorrow. Currently, we're like a day behind, but I have some ideas for maybe catching up within Bookmas. But if I can't catch up, I can't catch up. You know, it's just what it is. I feel bad about feeling blasé about a lot of things. I don't feel blasé about the Bookmas videos. I don't feel blasé about reading. I don't feel blasé when I'm actually doing my work that I'm supposed to do, but I do feel blasé about like doing the work and getting started in the work. I really want to like work on cleaning. I really want to clean the office. I really want to reorganize my books. I really want to get things done around the house, but I feel blasé about doing those things too sometimes. If I'm doing those things, I feel guilty that I'm not doing the work that I'm supposed to be doing. I'm feeling very unsure of a lot of things at the moment, like just personal general things. I'm feeling very just unmotivated to get stuff done, unmotivated to do much at all. I'm feeling very tired. It's super cold, so things that would normally help me, like going for a walk and getting out of the house, I don't want to do because I don't want to go out because it's so cold. I don't know. I'm in a tough position right now, but what I'm going to do with the rest of my day is I'm going to try and read a few more stories, at least 2 more stories today from Never Whistle at Night, because I think that's due back tomorrow in the afternoon, and at this current moment, I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish it in time before it gets returned, and it does have someone waiting, so I would need to send it back and then immediately place a hold on it to try and get it again, which I might just do in order to be able to finish it. I'll read a couple of those stories, then I will probably pick up this audiobook while I do work. I'm going to try and do that and get back on track tomorrow. My husband, I believe, has off tomorrow, so I will have to work. That's the thing, is like when I don't work, because I don't go to a job, there's no one who's getting let down but myself. Like, if you don't show up to your work that you go to and work at, you're letting down your coworkers. But the only person I'm letting down is myself because I'm going to have to end up working on the weekend, which I don't want to do. I don't know. It's a vicious cycle. Anyway, I'm going to try to read some more. I'm going to try and get some more done. I'm going to try and do some work. And I'll try to catch back up with you tomorrow when maybe I'm in a little bit more of a positive mood, or maybe when we do a few other things. Let me know how your December's going so far. Let me know how you're feeling. Tuesday actually, and I never finished this vlog. So I think the idea of reading as many books as I could was unsuccessful for this week. It was a weirdly busy week and there was a lot going on. We ended up going to see the Nutcracker, which was like a last minute decision. We ended up having a huge snowstorm and a snow day, which was unforeseen. I did finish A Time to Be in Earnest yesterday on Monday, so I will talk about this more in my next vlog, which I'm going to start right after this one. I haven't started that one yet, but I really enjoyed this, and it's definitely sparked my inspiration, my creativity, my ideas for doing some different projects both on BookTube and in life. So I'm super excited to have finally read this one. But like I said, I will talk more about it in that next vlog. Two things. It's Tuesday already. I haven't started that vlog, so I will try in that vlog to update you a little more, definitely more than I did this past week, this time. And I will try to bring you along with me. I know this week it's probably going to be a short vlog just because I was, like I said, really busy, a lot going on. Yesterday was super busy, so it makes sense to start this later. My original plan was to work on the TBR spin in this next week, but I think I need to keep just like finishing books, and so maybe I'll do a little bit of both, or maybe I'll try to read some of my TBR spin in that week, in this upcoming week. But I think I need to see how many books I can finish, like finishing as many books as I can week 2 in the new vlog. So let me know how your week's going. Did you have weather? Do you live on the East Coast? Did you have snow? Do you love snow days? Do you hate snow days? I am not a huge winter person in general, as you well know. I am not a huge snow person in general, except I do love that like first day of snow. That is a really good day. Let me know if you've read any of the books that I mentioned here. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!